Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the Twin Astrology forecast for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. And so these are energies from October the 16th through the 22nd. And so I don't know about you guys, but I definitely felt the effects of the new moon eclipse, and it definitely felt like kind of a hangover yesterday morning. And I know Saturday I kind of spent the day laying around in bed. It was very somber. It was a very heavy energy, I do feel, when it comes to endings. And so we've got a couple important transits that are taking place this week that I feel are bringing forward some major changes within the twin flame connections and relationships. And so a big number sync that's really been standing out for me over the weekend was 515, 818, 919, and 717. 515 being the most significant sync that was showing up over and over and over again on receipts, on license plates. Waking up at 5:15. I actually woke up at 5:15 Saturday morning, the day of the eclipse, and there was a major purge and shift within the sacral chakra. And so I do feel the energies are indicating that there's going to be major changes in the twin flame connections over the coming weeks as we kind of transition into this brand new phase. And I do feel the masculines are still working on separating from that karmic cycle, while at the same time deepening the spiritual bond and the spiritual connection with the feminine. And so I do feel the twins are encouraged to embrace positivity this week and to have faith that these new opportunities and these new relationship cycles are just around the corner. And so we had that new moon eclipse on Saturday, and we didn't have any transits, really any major transits playing out, but we do have the sun opposite the north node on Wednesday this week. We have Mercury also opposite the north node on Thursday. And then on Friday this week, we're going to have the sun conjunct Mercury, and we're also going to have Mercury squaring it up with Pluto. And so oppositions is an internal struggle, which could lead to an outer tower. Squares are definitely external. And on Saturday, we have the sun square Pluto. And then we will close off the week on Sunday, though, with Mercury trine Saturn and Venus trine Jupiter. And then Mercury will be entering into Scorpio. And so let's talk about these energies, especially with the sun opposite the north node. So the sun is in Libra, opposing the north node in Aries. And so that is a big theme, the Aries Libra axis. And so Libra can be a little bit indecisive, a little bit wishy-washy when it comes to making a decision. And Aries is asking us to find our stance. Where do you stand? Where do you need to put in some strong boundaries? And so with the sun opposite the north node this week, we're all going to be feeling this because it is like the nodes of the moon that are affecting us energetically. And so you can expect some major changes to occur this week within these connections. But this transit is also saying you have to be willing to let go of the past if you are going to start to move towards the future and the new Earth timeline. And so get ready for all of these old wounds to kind of be triggered to the surface. Any issues that have been left unresolved are going to have to be resolved before we can move forward in a balanced union. And so there is this energy of increased heightened awareness, self-awareness as well when it comes to personal growth and what's been holding us back. And so I also feel many of the masculines are going to find their drive and their ambition to reorient their life path this week. And so for the feminine, I think it's best to kind of slow down and focus on yourself, as the divine masculine kind of has the ego submerged into the darkness to some degree this week. I do feel the masculines are realizing that they're going to have to make some type of sacrifice during this time, a sacrifice that is going to need to be let go in order to go towards the feminine. And so with the transit of Chiron opposing Mercury, that is creating the much needed tension and challenges when it comes to all of these new higher thought processes. And so I do feel there's going to be communication barriers coming up this week in the energy. I do feel there's this very karmic tension building. And a lot of the tension is building, I feel, within the divine masculine's rational mind, which would represent the Mercury energy, and all of these inner wounds and all of this emotional vulnerability, which would be the Chiron energy. And so this is going to make it difficult for many of us to find a way to communicate with all of this baggage and all of these old wounds kind of coming to the surface. But we do have to understand this at a certain intellectual standpoint as well. And so I do feel there's a purging of some sort taking place this week, a major purging, especially when Pluto forms that square to Mercury. And so how we interpret all of this energy is going to be dependent on the baggage and the wounds that are coming up for clearing within your own twin flame dynamic. I do feel a lot of the masculines are searching for that meaning in their life right now. And they're likely going to be met by some type of dramatic argument initiated by one of the karmic influences that they're connected with in order to reorient them. And so whether this is a dramatic argument with a friend or a lover, I just feel a lot of the masculines are feeling criticized at this point in time, which is producing very strong challenges to their thoughts, their ways of thinking, any new ideas. And I do feel a lot of the masculines are entrenched in this energy of obsession towards the divine feminine, as we've got all of this Scorpio energy coming up as well. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are in this state of deep thinking when it comes to this intense interaction with the divine feminine. And they can no longer avoid the extremities, I feel, of the cosmic forces that are kind of pushing them back towards the feminine. I do feel the masculine is also finding it very hard to trust people at this time because of all of the negative aspects that are kind of around them, especially as they journey down into the hidden underworld of all of this truth. The positive thing, though, is we're going to close off the week with a couple of trines. And trines are very positive aspects. And so with Venus trine Jupiter, we do also need to keep in mind Venus is in Virgo, which is in its detriment, right? Venus in Virgo is always going to bring up difficulties when it comes to love, because Virgo is all about psychoanalysis, and love cannot exist in a state of constant analysis, and we kind of suppress our emotions with Venus in Virgo. And so it's a reanalyzation of what does love mean to me. I do feel maybe a realization of what needs to be accepted. I do feel secrets are coming up to the surface to stop this analysis paralysis kind of going on in the divine masculine's mind. But I do feel, although Jupiter is retrograde, this trine aspect can bring forward newfound inspiration when it comes to a new love relationship. And so I do feel the masculine can no longer maintain his fragility in the energy, and he is kind of searching for that meaning. And so I also feel searching for defects, right? Searching for every excuse he can find to stay where he's at, to avoid making these very uncomfortable changes. So I do feel there's this process, this undergoing process in the energies this week of spiritual purification, which is going to help remove all of these unclean thoughts out of the masculine's processes. And it's going to dredge up all of these old feelings when it comes to what is it that they truly do value. And so I do feel, a lot of these masculines have been spinsters and like these permanent old bachelors, and let's face it, we're not getting any younger. And I know a lot of these masculines can no longer keep up the bachelor facade and the player ways, and like, where are these men gonna be when there's no one to be spinsters with, right? And so we can play all we want, but eventually what goes around comes around. And I do feel the masculines are being met with a lot of karma this week. So let's jump in with the cards and we'll see what else needs to come through. I didn't really pick out any decks yet, But oh, look at that. I stored my Spiritual Journey Oracle deck in this beautiful tarot box that was gifted to me. And my daughter must have put a little heart in there that says best friend. Anyway, let's start off with the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck today. I haven't used it in a while. Look at that. Bottom of the deck, triggering. So get ready. I do feel a lot of the twins are going to be put to the test when it comes to certain situations with karmic influences, and we're going to have to address these karmic patterns once and for all. I know for myself, I had to cut some people out, and so there's this course correction taking place when it comes to this deeper truth, is what I feel. So get ready to face some triggering circumstances this week, and there's them signs and those syncs, right? And so pay attention to the numbers. Really pay attention to the numbers that you're seeing out and about this week, because there is a deeper meaning. And so, like I said, 515 was a big one for me, and a lot of the syncs for me lately have been a mirror. So there's a lot of mirroring going on in the collective as well. So how can we use these energies to kind of improve our relationship to ourselves and our relationship within these twin flame connections? But let's jump in here, and we will see what energies need to come through for the twins for the week ahead. But I do feel, yes, the sacrifice triggering just come flying right out of the deck again. And so get ready to be triggered. Get ready to face some very difficult conversations. And this is divine orchestration. So I do feel this is kind of feeling like a tower. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, guys. It does. It feels like a tower. There's a divine plan at work right now. So if you've had certain expectations, if you've been utilizing your free will, and the divine has more meaningful long-term plans for your journey, get ready for a divinely orchestrated tower that's going to bring up a lot of triggers that are needing to be addressed. And Spirit is saying, hey, we're always there for guidance. I do feel many of the masculines are in a very tough situation right now, and Spirit's right there offering them guidance. They need only just ask for the direction that they're needing, which would require them to kind of quiet the mind and to go into meditation. And so on the flip side here, we get the teacher card with the healer. And so many of the twins, we are master healers. We are ascended master teachers. And so I do feel the situationship that the masculine is entrenched in is there to kind of help him evolve. And so I do feel a lesson is reaching completion this week. I do feel the masculine is looking at the feminine as this master teacher, this gifted healer. And I do feel there is this newfound heightened awareness as to these twin soul connections. And so I do feel the masculines are coming into this deep awareness of the divine counterpart, of the divine feminine. I do feel they see you in all of the complexities of this connection. And I do feel this tower coming in this week is to strip the masculine of all of the outdated beliefs, all of the old karma, so the twins can kind of come together and bring this high vibration love into the world and the state of the world. I do feel we need these unions now more than ever, because we are here to be these powerful light workers. We're here to shine this light on humanity and to help heal Mother Earth as well. And so I do feel a week of complexities. I also feel a lot of telepathic communication. I know dream space has been very vivid for me. The counterpart has been coming through in dream space over the last couple of days. And it's been a very nice energy, a nice transmission of emotions and feelings from the astral realms with the counterpart. But I also feel this is to trigger all of these old trauma and wounds. And so we have to face these past life wounds because they have been causing a negative impact, right? And so I do feel the masculine is in this awareness of identifying the patterns, releasing the patterns, and embracing the path of self-development and healing. And they do realize that they've neglected this connection and the divine feminine and the part of them that yearns to be with the divine feminine. And so there's that peeling back the layers of an onion, a rediscovery. It's like piercing the veil. And so they can see that karmic person and situationship for exactly what it is. they didn't originally see it, but I do see they see it, and there's a major throat chakra activation. And I do feel a lot of the masculines are going AWOL when it comes to removing these blockages within the throat chakra. And they are rapidly, openly, and honestly expressing themselves, and their voice is cutting all of these negative energy cords away. And so I do feel a final release of the unwanted karmic attachment. And there is another layer of all of these past memories coming to the surface in order to clear all of these unhealthy energies and attachments for this renewal. So let's jump in with some tarot. I got another tarot deck gifted to me last week, I believe it was, or the week before. I can't remember. My days are kind of weaving in and out of one another. I can't really keep track of the days, but the Black Cats Tarot. I love this deck. I do believe I want to use this deck for the Divine Masculine. And then we will use the Everyday Witch Tarot for the Divine Feminine. Look at that. Right on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Emperor with the Four of Swords reversed, holy macaroni, and the Empress upright. And so what I see from this energy just on the bottom of the deck is the masculine is kind of ready to come out of that period of healing. The Four of Swords reverses, something is coming back from the dead. So I do feel a period of healing has gone on between the twins. And this Four of Swords, if you look at it upright, you know, we've got all four swords are kind of tied up on the ground. And we've got this, I'm going to say a feminine cat, kind of looks like a feminine with a broken ankle. That's interesting. On the right foot, I actually had my ankle shattered in a violent domestic abusive situation about 8 years ago now. I just find that interesting. But I do feel this is the energy of going back. The masculine is going back to the feminine, knowing that he deeply hurt her. But I do feel enough time has passed that the twins are ready for this face-to-face. So maybe it's been 4 years since you've spoken to your counterpart. But this is the masculine, I feel, knowing that it's time to utilize his logic and take charge of a situation and to come out of a period of introspection. There is something being brought back to life here is what I'm feeling. So let's see what else needs to come through for the Divine Masculine for the week ahead. Oh, we get the Two of Swords with the Three of Wands reversed. I just feel the wait is over. So it's like the masculine's kind of been teetering, playing a balancing act in the false contract. And I do feel like the wait is over. It's the energy of like the rug getting pulled out from under the masculine's feet. So let's have a look here and see what else needs to come through for the Divine Masculine for the week ahead. Show me the Divine Masculine, please. We get Four of Cups in reverse, Four of Wands in reverse, Nine of Swords upright, the Knight of Pentacles in reversed, the High Priestess in reversed on the bottom of the deck. Is there any other messages for the Divine Masculine, please? Oh, this one wants to come out. 10 of Cups reversed. Oosh. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is what we got here, guys. 4, 4. The Four of Cups reversed. The Four of Wands reversed. So there is a breakdown in a false foundation here. We also have the Nine of Swords upright, with the High Priestess reversed, which to me is truths unveiled about a very unhealthy situation here. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is a poor investment. I do feel with the Four of Cups reversed, this is the energy of releasing the stagnancy, right? If we look at it upright, we've got a cat here kind of, you know, enjoying being waited on hand and foot. And I do feel that that's where the masculine was at in the karmic situation. The karmic might have been waiting on the masculine hand and foot almost to the degree of smothering. But this is coming out of a period of soul suppression, coming out of a period of depression, pretending that everything's okay. There was a tight-knit circle there, I feel, where the masculine was at, which has recently come undone. And the masculine is left to face the views of the ego. And so when we get to the nines, we're reaching completion. It's time to close out a cycle. And I do feel there could have recently been an upheaval where now the masculine is left with nobody to look at but himself in that divine mirror, as all of this truth kind of washes over the masculine. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's so interesting because I really only can visibly see 6 swords on this 9 of swords. And so it's like they've tried to avoid going into the depths of the heartbreak of the ending. And I feel there's nowhere left for them to turn but to face the mirror and to feel the heartbreak. And so I do feel a major wake-up call has taken place for the divine masculine. And there is that shattering of the illusions when it comes to the false connection. The 10 of Cups reversed is, hey, this is not the masculine's happily ever after. The 5 of Pentacles in reverse, this is coming out of a period of lack mentality, right? And when we are not emotionally fulfilled, we're going to keep manifesting situations of lack and abandonment and wounding. And so I do feel healing from a deep wound. And if we look at the 5 of Pentacles upright, we've got somebody here, like they are like 6 feet under, right? And so there's this energy of digging out of that spiritual hole. And at the bottom of the deck, we do have victory. And so I do feel the masculine does intend to come in and have that victory with the feminine. He wants to be the one that is chosen. And he knows it's time to come out of that man cave with the 8 of Swords. And so this 8 of Swords is really interesting. We got this dark creature in a cave of their own making. And then if we look here, we've got, you know, the exit from the cave with a spider's web. And so there is a need to untangle from that webbing, that cosmic entanglement that the masculine's been in. And I do feel he's feeling very trapped in the mind space. And then we get the 2 of Swords. And so we do have a 10 of Swords here. And so I do feel the worst is over. And it is time to go towards a new beginning in love. Like the feminine's love is the milk and honey. The feminine's love is the divine masculine's wish fulfillment with the Star card. And so I do feel, get ready for the masculine to finally come forward and lay down a long-standing burden, because they've been in this inner world of discovery. And I do feel they're ready. They are ready to consciously release something that is no longer working, that is not their wish fulfillment. There's likely going to be some type of an emotional outburst this week, a very triggering situation, and likely some combative communication that the masculine is going to have to be dealing with this week in order for that shift in perception, right? And so this is the Hanged Man in reversed, and that is a wake-up call, because he's been in that entanglement, in that webbing for quite some time. And then there is the 9 of Wands in reversed with the 10 of Swords, and that's the finality, right? And so I do feel the masculine doesn't know which way to turn, because everywhere he turns, he's being betrayed or manipulated. And this 9 of Wands, if you look at it, it's like that tree got cut right down, right? There's nothing left of that tree. And so the masculine was urged to trim those dead branches. And now it's like the universe come in and cut the whole tree down, because it's time to cut out all of the rats and the mice that have kind of gotten into the masculine's mind space in order for him to break free from that long-standing karmic contract. So let's jump in with the divine feminine. We get the 3 of Wands upright on the bottom of the deck for the feminine, with the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups in reversed. And so this is, I feel, your magic is just magnetically attractive at this time. It's like you hold the power, divine feminine. You have called this in. You have manifested this. The wait is over. And there is an offer of love coming in very quickly. I feel maybe even an apology for not recognizing what this connection was the first time around with the 6 of Cups. So let's see what needs to come through for the divine feminine. We get the King of Pentacles in reverse. That just flipped out with the Hierophant upright. And so I do feel there's resistance to bringing in an offer. Maybe because the masculine has recently gone through financial downfall. Maybe they've had to claim bankruptcy. I do feel a lot of the masculines are worried that maybe they don't have enough to offer you. Yeah. Worried that they don't have enough to offer you is what I'm feeling. But I also feel like you're also in this energy. You're zen. You're in a place of contentment. You're in a place of peace. You're kind of in this place of mastering your gifts. I do feel many of the feminines are spiritual teachers. Maybe you're even looking into starting a yoga class to be a yoga teacher. I'm not sure, but I do feel the feminine is in this energy of really not wanting to invest in anything that is going to create this Nine of Swords feeling, right? Stress, anxiety. But I do feel you've got nothing to worry about here, Divine Feminine. With the Ace of Wands, it's like I do feel there's going to be all kinds of new ideas coming in for you with the Mercury energy. I do feel maybe even some new Akashic downloads when it comes to a new creative start for you. What else needs to come through for the Divine Feminine, please? So we do have Taurus energy coming through strongly for the Divine Feminine. We just got one last card out for you. The Queen of Cups reversed. This is interesting. I just feel like this Queen of Cups, she's pregnant. So I feel the feminine's in a place where she's focused on herself. She's focused on peace, tranquility, groundedness. And I do feel no longer investing. I do feel the feminines have withdrawn their time, their attention, their love. They're focused on themselves. I do feel maybe the feminine is worried that this connection is no longer fertile. But I do see an apology is coming for a missed opportunity in love. And so I do feel maybe for the last 5 years, there's been a distance, a separation with you and your counterpart. Because with the Ace of Cups reversed, with the Six of Cups upright, that to me is indicating like a Five of Cups. And so we do have to go through the healing, right? But I see the feminine as strong, independent, focused on your work, focused on business, focused on, you know, just living your best life, not wanting or seeking or desiring anything at this time. You are ready for your counterpart is what I'm seeing here. You're grounded, you're stable. And I do feel get ready to receive a message. I do feel the masculines are watching you. They're trying to figure out how to come forward. But I also feel maybe it's time for you to do a little bit more research. Maybe dig into reading some more books, advancing some of your gifts at this time. I just feel the feminine's got all kinds of brand new opportunities coming in that you have manifested. With the Three of Wands, you have manifested this. You have called this in with your vibration. And I do feel the feminine has broken free from the past. I do feel the feminine has healed, right? The feminine's gone through a state of healing. We have the Six of Wands reversed underneath the Eight of Swords. And then we have the Three of Cups. So I just feel a lot of the feminines have broken free from the mental prison of the whys. Why didn't we have victory? Why didn't we have success? And I do feel there is a lot of gossip surrounding these connections and how foolish the masculine was for not taking that leap of faith. And so I do feel there is a very unexpected new beginning here that you're not going to see coming. So are you ready to throw caution to the wind and to take a leap of faith, Divine Feminine? I'm going to just get a couple last messages to keep it short and sweet this week. We're going to use the Crystal Stone deck. We're going to see any last messages or advice for the Divine Masculine, please. We got 3 flip out with a vengeance. Divine Masculine, it's time to find your motivation with Peridot. It's also time to call upon your core power with Pyrite. And that is the energy of Fool's Gold. And then we get the copper energy, which is asking you to energize your world. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are coming to the conclusion that they went towards fool's gold, right? The real gold was with the feminine. And so I do feel there is this underlying chronic lethargic energy surrounding the masculine. And that's because they've been sleeping on their fullest potential, right? And so they've been brooding, and they are dreading having to come forward. But I do feel the intensity of the energies this week are bringing forward a mental overload, forcing the masculine to get things done because they've not been applying themselves. And so I also feel too, a lot of the masculines have been afraid of going towards success, almost like they need permission to go towards this successful experience with the divine feminine. And so they're going to have to power up their vitals. What I want to say is get ready for the ride, divine masculine. Better enjoy the ride, because I do feel there's a lot of amazing, beautiful things coming for the twins. But the masculine is going to have to find his center to release that fool's gold who has been draining his energy. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are really wanting to maybe take the divine feminine on a romantic weekend getaway. But they're going to have to power through all of this shrouded dark matter that they've been sifting in and sitting in. And so I just feel like there's one missing component before the masculine can kind of take action. But they know, like, they know it's time to, paddle back to shore, to proverbially paddle back to shore. They've been in the deep ocean. They've been in the deep for a while. They know they need to make this cut. They know they need to cut the karmic out. They know it's time to pack up and get out of that situation. So the masculine might even be packing up and moving homes. It's time for him to ship out of that situation for good this week in order for the renewal between you and the counterpart. And so I do feel there's a lot clearing when it comes to the telepathic channels of communication on the masculine's end this week, as they kind of call on their core power to take action. And there is an expansion of consciousness as well taking place for many of the masculines. So a lot of them are channeling higher messages right now, exploring the depths of this supernatural communication that we share. Pay attention to the music I just heard. Pay attention, because they do feel the masculine is coming into his psychic healing gifts this week as well. And it's time for them to translate all of this energy into inspiration with the divine feminine, whether that is through, working side by side with her and speaking his journey into existence. But either way, this is the week where I feel the masculine is given one last chance to speak clearly and straight from the heart. And when he does, I do feel all kinds of things will clear up very quickly, because a lot of the masculines are conduits for these energies as well. And they are here to bring forward these mysterious, eternal messages as well. So let's see what needs to come through for the divine feminine for a closing message. And we get bloodstone. So is there anything else that needs to come through for the feminine? So divine feminine, this is a direct link to the blood of Christ. And so I do feel there's an activation when it comes to some Christ codes for the divine feminine. You are an earth goddess. Divine feminine, you are an earth goddess. Did you hear me? You are an earth goddess. And so I just feel what you need to do is to stay grounded and really watch the people that you're keeping in your company this week, because as empathic as you are, what is required right now is for you to go deep into the gaze of your soul and your inner world to really harness your intuition. I do feel under this last new moon, whatever intentions you've set, it is time for you to align to those life-affirming intentions, your pure intentions. I do feel a lot of inner child nurturing is being called in the feminine's life. And I do feel get ready for movement under the next full moon, the full moon eclipse on the 28th in Taurus. I do feel the masculine is coming back to exactly where he belongs, which is with you. And so if something's been getting you down, maybe it's time to find your natural rhythm again. And bloodstone is speaking of the blood of Christ. And so there's an activation, maybe when it comes to the Middle Ages, some past life memories from the Middle Ages. But I do feel something is surfacing when it comes to the blood of Christ, or the remembrance of the timeline of Christ. A lot of the feminines, I know for myself, I've been overworked lately, and that's why I've been taking a step back completely from doing way too much, because it can be very draining when we're overworked. And I know I've recently had to release a soul-sucking energy. There was a soul-sucking energy around me. Maybe you're dealing with a Capricorn, or somebody with Capricorn placements in a prominent big 3 or something. But be careful of Capricorn energy in and around you, Divine Feminine, because I do feel you've got really important spiritual work to do. And there is somebody in your physical world that is trying to psychologically bring you back down and manipulate you. And so be careful, because this person likely has the potential to bleed you right dry. And so I do feel it's likely affecting your sleep patterns. There is a malignant soul-sucking masochist around you, Divine Feminine, that you're going to need to really be careful, because they're going to try and drag your ass right down, and you're here to hold your head up high. Bottom of the deck, we get Damberite, Divine Feminine, and so it's time for you to turn that light on full blast. It's really time. And so I do feel the feminine is elevating at this point in time, and so anything that is not in this higher elevation resonance is going to have to fall away or be released. And anything that you cut out this weekend, anything that you said no to this weekend, it is gone. It is not coming back into your life. And so I do feel there is an energy that's trying to take from you, Divine Feminine, and you're going to have to get serious about those boundaries this week. I also feel the feminine, you need to get the grind on. It's really time to hit the ground, to get moving on the pavement, because we are launching into a new expansive career, I feel, moving forward. There's a lot of like this launching energy coming through. I know for me, I'm working on getting that webpage launched, and Kenzie, my teenager, she was helping me work on the webpage on the weekend. And so be careful of somebody trying to divert you away from your purpose at this time. So there's like a little pesky energy in and around the feminine. And so shine that light on and get them out of your way. Yeah, get them out of your way, because I do feel somebody is very vain and just craving your time and attention. And if you're not careful, you're going to need to dig yourself out too with a spiritual shovel, Divine Feminine. It's really time to break free from that energy. Let's get a closing message for the twins. Subtle cues may tell you what somebody's words are not. And that was the lesson for me with this last walk-in experience was, hey, words are great. Promises are great. But when the words have no follow through with the promises, it's time to start saying no, right? It's time to start saying no and to have a different approach. There's nothing I can't stand more than false promises or words not matching actions. And so this is also a part of getting to know ourselves, right? When we know ourselves, we can pinpoint who's bringing us dissatisfaction and who's depleting us in any areas of our life. So pay attention. There's somebody here who's subtly giving you the cues like, hey, the words are not matching the actions. And it's time to cut that shit out this week, Divine Feminine. So any last messages from Spirit for the twins? Any last messages for the twins, please? Okay. Someone has overstepped their boundaries. And it's time to draw that line in the sand. So get ready to cut somebody out, is what I'm feeling. Both the masculine and the feminine need to cut something out. Be brave, you can do this. It's okay to tell people no. And so Spirit is here offering us the guidance that we need, but we have to open up our mind. We have to be willing to take the guided action when it comes to this request for assistance from the angels. And first and foremost, we do need to get honest with ourselves about what is going on so we can draw that line in the sand. And so there might not be enough information at this point in time, but I do feel if we are observant, if we are patient, These unhealthy people are going to start exposing themselves, and then we will be able to recognize where we need to create that healthy space, right? Because there is somebody around both the masculine and the feminine who is very unhealthy, and we need to be careful because these energies are so powerful right now. The darker energies are trying to get us to compromise ourselves and our values. So I do feel, be very, very sure of who you are connected to and get honest with yourself, because a lot of us are teachers in these situationships, and honesty is always better than a lie. So are you lying to yourself? Are you lying to another? It's really time to speak the truth, no matter how much is going to hurt somebody. The truth is always better than a lie. And so this is a week of major transitions. Allow it to happen. It's happening at this time for a reason, because it needs to occur no matter how difficult it is. This week, trust that we do have divine protection and we are never alone as we go through the divine plan playing out. And that's kind of what I've got for the week ahead, guys. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, I do encourage you to check out that description box below. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thanks.